Yeah, HQ, welcome in. I'm Eric Casillas. So 52 golfers have made the cut at the Masters and all have dreams of knocking down the final 36 holes and claiming the green jacket. But one golfer's dream may be a little bit closer to reality than the other 51. Right now, the primary question is Scottie Scheffler or not Scottie Scheffler? That's right. He's the hottest player on the globe, also the #1 player in the world. And Scottie Scheffler announced his presence with authority. 5 shots clear of the field at Augusta, currently sitting at 8 under. So Scottie Scheffler may be the current headline, but the pre-tourney headline was obviously Tiger Woods. Could he go? Would he hold up? Well, he answered many of those questions with a resounding yes. And although Friday's 2-over wasn't a thing of beauty, Tiger still in the mix and can make things interesting with a great Saturday card. So here's your leaderboard. We mentioned it. #1 player in the world, Scottie Scheffler. 5 shots clear of everyone. And there's a little bit of a tie, a little bit of cluster at 3 under, including a couple of guys who've won this thing. Charles Schwartzel. And I remember famously, back in 2011, finished with birdie, 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 drive home safely. Let's get a South African barbecue at the Champions Dinner next year. Hideki Matsuyama, he's won this thing, and that would be seems to really have is a great iron player that has a nice eye for this course, and that's a good combination. And then you see the group at T6, including Dustin Johnson. Shh, don't tell anybody. DJ poised to maybe make a move on Saturday. All right, let's get the crew in. There they are at Augusta. Tom Spencer, love having him on the program. And there is Kyle Porter. Kyle, I'm going to start with you. Scottie Scheffler, right? I know he's good, right? But there's now a zone and a Scottie Scheffler zone. How have we gotten here?
Well, I think it's interesting, EK, over the last 2 years with Scottie Scheffler. Statistically, Tom, he's kind of proven himself. He kind of proved himself last year. He just didn't have any wins that followed. So I think this would make it does feel like a heater, and it is a heater.
Yeah.
But if you spread the wins out over the last 2 years, he had so many top 10s last year. I think this would make more sense. There would be more of a build-up kind of to what he's doing at this Masters. I think people, it's almost harder to accept it because it's happening all at once.
Right.
To win potentially 4 of his last 6 tournaments and include a Masters in there. But this is kind of the guy he's been all along. We just hadn't seen the wins until recently.
Yeah, he has unbelievable amateur pedigree. He won 90 junior tournaments in the North Texas State Junior Golf Association, so he's been a winner his whole career. It's just taken him a while when he turned professional, Kyle, to really get his footing under him. Had a great chance at the PGA at Harding Park a couple years ago, playing with Dustin Johnson in the last round. So sometimes winning just evolves, and he's very comfortable right now. He's just playing mistake-free golf. And, if he does go on to win this tournament, I'm going to look back at yesterday and that 2-hour window where the wind died, just enough time for him to play the second 9 here and make a few birdies and separate himself from the field. That could be the difference between winning and losing, but still a long ways to go.
That's a great point with that wind and getting a break. But look, when you get a break, you got to take advantage of it. And this is a guy that right now is taking advantage of everything. Tiger Woods, maybe we could say he's already won. Right? I'm just getting around, making the cut, looking relatively healthy. That's a win. But he's still playing, still in contention. What are reasonable expectations today for Tiger Woods, Kyle?
Well, I think reasonable expectations for Tiger Woods are that he kind of sniffs contention. I don't know that he truly gets in the mix where he's T2 or T3 or anything like that. But I think, EK, you bring up a really interesting point in that, this week is already a win for Tiger. Honestly, like being here and watching him, it feels like one of the more remarkable performances of his career. And that sounds weird to say about somebody who shoots, 71, 74 and is, kind of on the cusp of contending. But given what he's been through, given where his leg's at, he said he has to ice for hours every night. And I thought the most interesting part about his week, Tom, was that he got asked this question essentially on Thursday. Is it a win, or what would it have to be for you to consider it a win this week? And he said it already is, just being here, just teeing it up. I don't know that Tiger would have done that at 35 or 30 years old. And so to me, that showed a ton of humility and was something that really impressed me about him.
That's a great word, humility. Tiger has had a different sort of expressions of joy this week and at times relief and showing, the human side to him. And who wouldn't expect that after all he's been through? But teeing it up on Thursday, just teeing that ball off the first hole, that was a win. Making the cut yesterday was another one. These are mini victories for him. He's going to walk up Sunday afternoon, no matter where he's finishing, and get one of the great ovations of his career. It will be a moment he will never forget. And I think the inspiration that he's going to derive from this week is going to carry him forward. And just know that the acceptance and the love that he has from the sports community in general is at its all-time zenith right now.
All right, so obviously Tiger Woods and then the leader, Scottie Scheffler. Now we get to what else? What can be interesting today? What's your headline today other than Scottie Scheffler or Tiger Woods? Kyle.
Well, yeah, I think my headline for today, other than Scheffler and Tiger, is probably going to be which of those ball strikers that are 1 or 2 under kind of rise up, especially if it's windy. You know, I think if it's gusting, and we've had a really inconsistent wind throughout the last couple of days. It'll gust for 10 minutes, and then it'll stop, and then it'll pick back up. It'll be cold and hot. It's been kind of weird. But if it's gusty today, I think Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, some of these guys that are at 1 under, I think you could see them rise up, maybe get within 3 or 4 of Scheffler, to where you kind of had that Patrick Reed over Rory McIlroy lead, like we saw in 2018, where it's 3 going to the final round, and you can talk yourself into a JT or a Morikawa, potentially a Hideki, kind of coming back and making it interesting on Sunday.
It's a great point. And Scheffler, when he finishes today, a notable statistic that we're going to be focusing on at the end of the round, Kyle, is who gets into that last pairing tomorrow. 26 of the last 31 winners of the Masters have played in the last pairing or group in the case of 2019 on Sunday. So who is he playing with? Is it a Shane Lowry who's won a major championship? Is it a Dustin Johnson who has only birdied 1 par 5 so far this week? The trouble that the guys are having, the hard holes are playing even harder than normal, and the easy holes are playing hard. So the par 5s, 3 of the 4 of them are into the wind. Can Dustin Johnson, when he wakes up this morning, figure out a way to drive the ball long and straight on the 4 par 5s and maybe get himself into that last pairing? Can JT make another run with a round in the 60s and possibly move up? If he has a major champion in the last pair tomorrow, that could put even more pressure on him trying to close this thing out.
Let me follow up with Tom there on that statistic, which I love, which is 26 of the last 31 winners have come from the final pairing. Kyle, you can start and get Tom in it. How do you translate that for me? Does that mean that on Sunday the course is not designed for someone to come from way back? Does it mean that there's a calm at that place where even a leader that has maybe not been up there like a Sergio or a Justin Spieth, they can find a way through it? Is it just a stat that just is kind of one of those shrug your shoulder crazy stats? Translate 26 out of 31 come from the final pairing for me.
Yeah, 26 out of the 31 coming from the final pairing, I think, is a result of a golf course that it's kind of easy to make pars sometimes, and it can be really difficult to make birdies. And those birdies that you're kind of gunning for, that you're going at these pins for, can turn into bogeys and doubles really quickly. So it's almost as if you go into Sunday, and if you've got the lead and you're kind of protecting, you can do that. I don't want to say easily, but it's not super difficult, especially on these par 5s and some of the more difficult par 4s, to make pars. But when you're gunning at pins, you leave yourself short-sighted, you leave yourself in the wrong spot. You bring bogey and double into play, which I think is why you haven't seen a ton of guys come from behind, because you have to play almost perfect golf on Sunday to be able to do so.
To your point, the Nicklaus round in '86, the 65 is kind of an exception. It's not the norm to see great final rounds here and come back and win. And part of the challenge is, it's an interesting golf course. The first 10 holes here are all demanding, and you play with no real penalty or hazards, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you get out your second shot on the 11th hole, and there's water left. You tee shot on 12, there's water short of the green in Rays Creek. Tee shot on 13, water left, water short of the green. So now you've got a totally different dynamic, and if you're trying to come back from 3 or 4 shots behind, yes, you're going to take those chances, but the risk-reward element is huge. So you can make eagles on Sunday, and you can make double bogeys quickly. I often find, kind of like the way Tiger won in 2019, you hang around and let the other guys make the mistakes and take your birdies and eagles when you can get them. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Weather forecast better for Sunday might be an opportunity for some of the guys to make a charge.
All right, well, we started with Scottie Scheffler. Let's go full circle and end there. I said, to Scheffler or not to Scheffler? That is the question that we must ask right now with this lead. You want Scottie Scheffler, or do you want everybody else in the field, the other 51 golfers? Kyle Porter.
Yeah, Scheffler of the field. I think I'm going Scheffler, but in the back of my mind, EK, I've got a Texas Longhorn who is #1 in the world, lives in Dallas with a 5-stroke lead on the weekend, and we've seen that go badly before, Tom. So
oh, wow.
I'll go with Scheffler, but not with as much confidence maybe as I would have before 2016.
Good one. I like Scheffler too, but you have to look at the chasing pack. Today is going to be a challenging day for him. A little bit of Irish weather. It's not very warm down here in Augusta. Yeah. And Shane Lowry's a guy. He's a grinder. He's got a lot of talent. He loves this course. He's won a major before. I see him making his way up the leaderboard and certainly challenging for this title.
Well done, gentlemen. Certainly appreciate the time and the information. There they are, live at Augusta, chilly Augusta. It's almost like the New England Masters. The weather's changing every 5 minutes. It's sunny, it's cloudy, it's warm, it's cold, it's windy. Yeah, that sweater's coming on and off. You may need to have that thing be a zip up so you can get it on and off quickly, because again, it is very different. And as Tom pointed out, there was a little bit of a window where Scottie Scheffler didn't have to deal with the one and really took advantage, which is part of the reason he has that nice lead. So what's it going to be like today? Will Tiger make a move? Here's how you watch. You can go Masters Live, CBSSports.com. That's with us. And if you want to go with the broadcast coverage, of course, CBS has it. The best events on CBS. And either way, you can stream it on Paramount+.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.